Hi, everybody. Welcome to Masks Arcane, issue 4. I'm Dave, and I've been running a series of mask games on the Gauntlet over this year. This is fourth of those games in play, where we are playing in a Vertigo-inspired swamp thingy, Southern Gothic setting, where there's a hidden world of supernaturals and vampires and maybe half-dying gods, and a battle between magic and the light and the dark. We have our heroes with us again, three of them tonight. Unfortunately, one of our players is unwell, but I welcome you to our sinister kids, Rick Soto the Shadow, Silaru the Revenant, and Bear Minerva. We are playing with support tools and safety tools because you should. We are using the X card in case something goes terribly wrong. We need to stop the game and care for one of the players. We have set up lines and veils to make that, and hopefully as necessary as we need it to be. We're using script change, which is a bit more refined, allowing us to pause, rewind, and fast forward. We are playing against the inclusivity policy in the Gauntlet, which means hopefully we can be pretty excellent to each other, and we'll be closing down the game with Stars and Wishes, which is a debrief tool. With no further ado, let's set the scene on issue 4 of Masks Arcane, as we see the heroes gathered together and the high likelihood that they're about to enter Rick Soto's sanctum. Where would we see you to picture this first panel, please, if you wouldn't mind, Rick? Where is the entryway?
I think maybe it's kind of it's not the same alleyway we were in before, but it's an alleyway with a similar vibe. It's possibly I'm going to say actually that it's in like the in the alleyway out behind the Le Chat Noir.
Mm-hmm.
There's a and you know it's a kind of fairly standard you know back street in sort of in the old French Quarter type setup, but just nestled up against one of the walls is this, it's a very Gothic looking arched wooden metal banded doorway with a big iron knocker on it, and I'm kind of seeing this as a sort of in media res type setup, and I think we just see Rick twisting the ring on the door to lift the latch, and it kind of does that creaking open as he offers an arm to beckon the others through.
Okay, as that happens in the alleyway, you hear feet splashing in puddles from the recent rain, and we see the we see the witch Sherry Camo, sometimes known as the Meridian Witch, running towards you, looking quite flustered and panicked. On her heels, you didn't see her, but we saw in the closing panels, was the Asian warlock, the woman who was smoking the cigar, sort of coming at her. She's not so much running as in just appearing, moving and stopping in the shadows as she's transporting with magic, and Sherry is sort of barreling towards you, going and screaming, "Take me with me, ooh, take me with you, what did you do, you fools?"
And Rick's just going to go, sure, get in now. It's probably best we get inside before whoever that is catches up.
That's one of the magisterium types, right?
That's correct.
I think Bear recognizes who that was because she knows enough about the magisterium, right?
Yeah, her name is Sha Sui. She is one of the arm of the Magisterium, who act as enforcers for the agreed concords and rules of magic within the city. She is dogged and dangerous, and if she's on your trail, that means that some point soon, the Magisterium and the council within this city are likely to catch up with you. But I presume you're not letting her through and you're slamming the door behind you?
Indeed, indeed.
Does anyone want to do anything like pierce the mask or assess the situation before that door is shut?
I don't think Rick's paying that much attention
I
to
think
her.
Rick, what I say, anyone, probably Rick or probably Sai if they wish to.
I would like to. I mean, yeah, this person. She was there when the whole thing went down at the last time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I want to pierce the mask. I want to figure out if she's angry. Also, I need some sweet XP, and also I need the where is the
It's in the safety and support tools, but I'll throw it into chat for you. Right.
Somewhere.
Boom.
Okay.
Safety
Thank
support.
you.
Your team, I've just put one into, currently sits at 2.
Okay. And I'm rolling with mundane, right?
That's right. Pierce the mask with mundane.
One day I will play a character who is very good with mundane. I have done that. Oops. No, I've rolled a 10. So it's a 9. Yay!
So on a 9, you get to ask one question. Unless anyone feels early they want to spend one of those points of team and get you up to a
10. I actually, what I want to know is, what do you intend to do is the immediate thing, right? Not the long-term plan. Because that's what I want. What's her immediate intention here? Is she angry? Is she trying to talk to people? Is she kind of just doing her job?
Her current intention was to track you lot down and stop you from whatever you were planning to do. So a mixture of all of the above. She feels quite annoyed, is slightly amused, and is definitely doing her job. She sort of takes the smoke out of the cigar out of her mouth and whooshes smoke down the alleyway at you, which is taking on the form of various running temple dogs and Chinese demons raging towards you.
Let's close the door. These will kill her if she's not,
See this look as you sort of all close on the door, and we see this one panel of you, and it's surrounded just by the dividing line of the panel in the comic book. We can see her with her hand outside, and she sort of raises an eyebrow and goes, "Well, that's something I wasn't expecting to see. Well, they'll want to know about this." And you see her turning around and being followed up back up the alleyway by her smoke animals. What room have you come into, Rick? And what does it look like? Do you always come in the same room, or do you come into different places each time? You muted, David.
Oops, sorry, I'd cut that off. Yes, so I think the door always opens up into the big sort of entrance hall. It's one of those, as I say, the whole place has a kind of look of a sort of Gothic, both a cathedral but also like a monastery, like lots more rooms and stuff like that. This room has sort of it's like that a big kind of entry hall, grand hall type thing. There's a big long table down the middle of it, which is like set with some food and stuff. There's big tall ceilings. There's more the impression of windows than actual windows. And as I mentioned before, the whole place has that weird, like hyper sort of surrealist sort of German expressionist film lighting, where like big dark shadows cast everywhere, very yeah, very Nosferatu and the like.
And how is this place lit? Is it lit by light?
By torchlight, I think, and candlelight. Lots of flickering. The I think the actual candles themselves seem almost decorative. It's more the light behaves the way the light wants to behave, but broadly it seems to be lit by torches and, like I said, those long flickering shadows going everywhere.
And if music was to be heard here, would it come from a gramophone, from
a
screeching set of gargoyles on the wall?
I think mostly there's I think it depends a little bit on exactly which room you're in, but there's always that kind of almost more of a feeling than a sound, where wherever you are, there's always that sort of like sound of almost like Gregorian chant off in the distance, and kind of the like the deep sub bass from a massive organ.
And that's the point where you can see this sort of Gregorian chants and this music. Whatever you normally hear in here, that's not what you're hearing. The organ sort of starts changing into a quite structured key, and the Gregorian chants start humming, and then breaking out into song with Elvis Presley's "Suspicious Minds." And you can hear the words "caught in a trap, do do do, no way out."
I have a question.
Yes.
We are inside a mind, right, or a mental space. What does that look like if you are able to see ghosts and dreams?
I think you see. Well, let me step back before I answer that question, and I'm going to ask Rick. Does he know the true nature of this place, or Rick, do you believe it to be an actual cathedral?
I think he believes it to be an actual place. Yeah. So a weird place, like a place, another dimension maybe, but yeah, I don't think he has yet realized that it is essentially just a manifestation of his mind.
Okay. So I think, Sai, I'd like you to assess the situation to go and answer that question, please.
Yes. What is that rolled
Assess
with?
the situation is rolled with
Superior. Oh, that's not great. Again, why am I always trying to perceive stuff?
Oh, actually, would it be unleashing powers for you in this instance? I'm wondering.
Yeah, I'm wondering too.
I'm happy to have unleash your powers if you want to reshape your. If you unleash your powers to sense the environment, then you'd have the opportunity to assess the situation afterwards. I'm very happy to go that way.
Okay, then I would try to unleash my powers first. Because with this roll, if I'm unleashing my powers, it's actually 7. So, and I think, yeah, you can tell me how the effect is unstable or temporary.
What you, I think, see and you realize is for a split second, you sort of see the true nature of this place. That it is not a building. It is a dream, and it's a dream of something deadly and powerful that sits in the heart and the catacombs of this place, dreaming of its own existence and dreaming of this place. And you are here at its permission. The fact that you have seen it all of a sudden means that it stirs slightly. And as the song gets louder, you turn around to see the door that you came in through on the wall is no longer there. Now it's just solid wall. and you see that door fade away as Rick has looked upon the room. Not Rick, sorry, Sai has looked upon the room.
Oh, wow.
And I think, as how are you doing, Bea, as you sort of come in to this weird and wonderful place, and you see this? You feel the magic in the room, in the air, shift slightly. But what is Bea doing?
She's kind of yelling at Sherry. Uh, she's saying like, Sherry, what the hell are you doing? You've got the magisterium on your tracks. What kind of? I thought you were meant to be good at this. What kind of person would do that? She's waving the blade of Vortigern she has in her hand, in a scabbard, and it's I don't think she notices until like, kind of like, I get the feeling like this art, her yelling is happening in the background of the panels that where Sai is observing. And I think only after she says like, you're meant to be smarter than this, Sherry. Suddenly you've got those dorks after you, and Rick has.
She says, "You
Elvis,
arrogant jackass! I was coming to warn you. She knows you hang out here. She was after you. The Femme Pando came to tell me to warn you that you've been summoned to face judgment by the Council of the Hidden World. You've pissed some people off, Magic Jack." You, at this point, I think you do sort of spot that the table, by the way, is set, and there is literally a southern Cajun feast fit for kings here, and a burning incense burner with myrrh and its strong, pungent smell, definitely starting to fill the room. Rick, you felt the room change when sort of, I think you would have seen Sai's. What would it have looked like when your powers went off, Sai?
I think that you can see mostly that Sai got more translucent, a lot more like they were a real, just a ghost where you could see through them, and the eyes were getting more cloudy, not really brighter, but more intense. The light, the white light in them got more intensive, like it came from farther away.
So that's when you saw the door sort of disappear. Rick, what do you do?
Well, that's unusual. Music's a change too. I've been trying to change up the playlist a little while I've been here. I can get it to hold a little, but it usually ends up back the same. And I think he's kind of going to go over to, and like I think on the floor there's like a band poster. He kind of blue tacks back onto the wall again. Although you can, even as he does, you can already see kind of like one of the corners of it starting to unpeel again.
Rick, whose place is this?
I don't know. I found it a few years back now.
There's someone, I think, at the center, whose place this is. I don't know. I felt something.
Possibly. I mean, I've explored this place fairly thoroughly in my time, but the rooms aren't always in quite the same place.
Of course not.
So I suppose it's possible there's someone hiding out down here, but I've certainly never seen anyone else here.
No. They're not hiding. They're making this place, I think. Kind of giving it structure, keeping it more or less consistent. I don't know. Maybe I'm totally wrong. I'm probably wrong. It's your place, of course. Sorry.
No, I mean that's certainly possible. I can't say as I know much about how all this is. I mean, I obviously know it ain't that a real place for one of a I don't know. I mean, like, so I can get into this place from more or less any other way in this city.
I mean, it's kind of like a dream.
I suppose, yeah.
But who's dreaming it? That. I'm sorry, probably stupid question.
No, it's a good question. I guess I don't know the answer, but I suppose I could hazard a guess. Look, it's probably for the best we go and speak with Zin, find out what we can from him, and maybe I've never brought this many people in here before. Maybe it's just messing with the hoodoo or what have you.
I think from behind you hear Bear just like yelling, just going like, "Oh, I'm sorry if I'm jumping to conclusions. We didn't really have much time to jump on one, but the good thing with conclusions is that they can be wrong. I can just jump to another one, and it's just, oh."
And you and your special power, your magic discipline of awesomeness is being wrong.
I don't know who's the one here who has an ancient sword with lineage going back centuries, even entrusted to me. Huh? You think La Femme Pendo entrusts you with anything around here?
Who's the one waving around a sword like it's a goddamn conductor's stick? Put it away. What are you compensating for?
And I think that at this point, Rick just turns to Sai and says, "Damn, I can't believe they're going to have make-up sex on my goddamn dining room table."
The dining room table is full of food. It has
Maybe we should rescue some of the food.
It has curry groat, it has roosters, it has calabash, it has coconut, it has fried plantains, it has pistachios, herring, sesame balls, and bottles of white rum, all with this central burning sort of incest pot of myrrh. And we can sort of hear that sort of Cherry is at this point sort of stormed off and sat in one of the leather armchairs in the corner and isn't looking at Bayer.
Yeah, Bea is like has decided to I should explain the way she's waving the sword. It's still in the scabbard. She's just holding it like how Duke is holding it in the picture.
You by the way, I think you did definitely hurt Sherry's feelings there, so you could clear your angry condition if you would care to.
Okay. And have the roll plus cold. Okay. Yeah, I think Faye like kind of deflates and just feels bad, so she turns to the food and it's like, "Oh wow, Rick, I didn't think you were gonna prepare a spread for us, but do you mind?" And she reaches for one of the chicken
Go ahead. It's not usually quite this fancy, but there's usually something around. Help yourself.
I wonder if I can eat this. If it's a dream, maybe. I'm poking the food.
Oh, it feels very real to you. This food smell is divine. It's the first time you've probably been able to see real food for some time. The myrrh sticks heavily into the air, coating everything.
I'm trying something. Maybe not that hot, not that hot thing, but one of the chips maybe or something. Fries.
Yeah, the plantain. Yeah, the So yeah, you grab one. It is sweet and crisp and unctuous, like good southern plantain should be. It melts under your mouth with that slightly sweet, starchy carbohydrate crunch.
That is, wow, I can eat this. I think that's the best thing I've ever eaten.
As you two are eating from the table, Sherry approaches Rick and says, "Mr. Soto, how do I get out? I've made a mistake. To be quite honest, I'd rather a decade and the punishment in the eyes of the magisterium than spend another 20 minutes with her."
Well, the exit's usually just right over there. He points to the conspicuously blank wall and says, "But it seems to have wandered off. I think we should probably go and have a look around. I'm sure I can find another way out of here. But it's probably best you don't wander off too far on your own." I was just saying the other, I don't entirely know how this whole thing works in here, and I've always been safe in here. I've always managed to find my way back, but I don't know. As I say, I've never had this many house guests before.
Sure, let's find another way out. What do you eat from the table there?
Some sort of southern fried chicken.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Actually, I shouldn't say that. I have had dinner. Because I know we don't have southern fried chicken downstairs. But yeah, something loud enough that like she can distract herself from everyone else. Oh, great! Now I'm hungry. But yeah, like I don't think I think Bea's in a bad enough mood to like not notice if you're gonna spring something on her. Let's just say.
What's the look that we see in the panel when Bea is sort of crunching down on the chicken and as her temper seeds, she realizes she's eating at the food placed on a table to summon a lower spirit.
Ooh, I think we get like a panel from perspective looking at like the array of food, and I think we get like a shot of her like holding up a piece of rooster, and eyes just kind of like narrow. We get another panel of the the food, and then she kind of like places the the piece that she had back on the table, and suddenly like the puzzle clicks, and I think we just get like a close up like drawing of like her eyes as they're kind of like widen, and she's saying like Rick, do you normally summon guests that aren't us to this place?
I can't say that I do. Well, there's. I mean, I've had some pretty vivid dreams here, but not like pentagrams and all that sort of thing.
Well, the funny thing about pentagrams and diagrams and all that is that they come in all sorts. They come in chalk marks and droppings and filings, and sometimes they come in food. And you happen to have brought anyone here recently, have you?
Not since we came here.
With Mr. Czin, right? Sorry, but
And
He's a
as you say Mr. Czin's name, you hear him cackling somewhere in the cathedral, going, "Oh, did you eat something that you shouldn't have? Mary Andrew will be quite displeased."
Oh, hell, that's all we need. He must have got out of the cell.
Said with the gravitas of like, oh no, not another one. And then like as Bear like wiping his mouth with like a napkin and realizing, shit, that's part of the.
Sherry looks at all three of you and says, "Do you have like a necromancer as a roommate or something?"
Technically a prisoner, but I guess that's not. I guess the situation's changed a little.
We can.
Hey.
It'll be fine. We've beaten him once. We can beat him again. It'll be.
We had Ash with us last time. So.
Yeah, but we have a sword now this time.
Do you know how to use that sword, Bear?
Yes, I've done some fencing.
Okay, cool. And we have Sherry. You'll help us, right, against the necromancer?
Absolutely. I think that would be a good plan. I'd rather not that he killed me and raised me back into his undead. And she's sort of about to make a comment on the undead and then realizes that's probably socially inappropriate and it sort of trails off in her mouth.
Yeah, I'd say it wasn't that bad, but it's actually not really cool.
I'm sorry. Sort of looks down and looks quite embarrassed by it. Said, so am I right in saying that we're here and we can't get out and someone's trying to summon something?
Maybe we should go and stop him then?
If Zin has found a way of taking control of this place, then yeah, we need to take it back from him, and then I'm sure we can get out of here and, well, do something with him.
Okay, I'm with you. And what are you doing, Rick, as the likely leader in this situation?
Yeah, I think that Rick is just going to start like heading off one of the corridors off down the side, and he's kind of walking with that like purpose and determination, like he knows where he's going to, even if that might not be entirely the case.
Not be wise, but I'm taking one of the sesame balls.
As you sort of chew down on it, we see a panel elsewhere in the comic book where the minstrel type form of the Lower Mary Andrew, or at least that's the name they've given themselves, is seen forming up and is in the middle of a very large library. It sniffs the table, or sniffs the air, and says, "Someone's eaten one of my sesame balls." And it and its cloak of swords disappears through a wall. And I placed a picture of Mary Andrew into the chat to remind people if we have forgotten what he looks like. So, where are you going, Rick?
Yeah, so I think I think Rick knows that there is there is basically a big like chapel room that has the organ in it, and lots of I think that room is like you said looks very like Catholic church, and there are lots and lots of like statues and stained glass windows of various. They look like saints, but they don't look like any familiar saints. But the faces on them all look quite detailed and lifelike. And I think that's the room he's going to assume that Zin is in, as he and he's going to try and get to there.
Okay. So you enter into the room. The organ is now still playing, I think, Suspicious Mind. But as you enter the room, it switches to Hound Dog by Elvis Presley instead. Would you like to assess the situation?
Yeah, certainly.
Or use any more appropriate move that you may have?
I think I'll stick with assess the situation for the moment. I am terrible at it, but I will make the roll and see how it goes. That's a 5.
So do mark potential. And don't forget you have your Dark Visions Doom sign anytime you want some like Doom Visions.
Yes, indeed.
Only you used those earlier and knew not to eat the chicken. Then one of you may have survived the night. So okay, in that case, the as you sort of come in, you see the organ is being played. There is a skeletal figure tapping away at the keys. The glass looks as if a rising sun is shining through it, which is not at all uncommon. It's rising in the east, and there would have probably been a congregation set of pews here. Well, there are, but the figures in here, and I think Sai, you spot this. The figures are singing and raised in hymn and song. No one else can see them, but these pews are full of ghosts. Sai.
Oh, there's a lot of people here.
People, but where's the most important one?
So just to be clear, only Sai can see the ghosts.
Oh yeah, because so Bear hears that it's like what?
Dead people.
People like you.
Well, not quite like me, but a little, yeah, I guess.
Okay.
But they're just singing.
Like, can we all see the person playing in the?
Yes, you can.
Well, if they're singing his tune, then we gotta stop his tune then.
Okay, do you need your organ, Rick?
I'm not the biggest fan of organ music, I gotta say.
I can try something. Okay, I'm trying something, and I'm going to, well, basically run up at the organ and try to smash through it.
So you're using your unstoppable, yes?
Yeah, I mean, why not? He said he doesn't like the organ much, so.
Okay. Could you roll with your danger, please? Unleash your unstoppable move.
Oh, that's a 7. That's not great, but for a first time, it's
Yeah. On a 7 to 9, you choose one. You mark a condition, leave something behind, or take something with you.
um. I think I should mark a condition. Maybe I'll mark. Yeah, I mark hopeless because I'm only partly through the organ, and it feels just like it feels so much like I'm really dead. That's just like, okay, yeah, I'm doing this now.
The
Nice.
organ shatters. The skeleton who is dressed to look like Mr. Czin but broke too easily, you realize was not. As the organ smashes and you hear this offensive noise as it goes, the music stops. And then everyone in the room can hear shuffling in the seats. And we sort of see this one panel where you're looking at the devastation, and the next panel where everyone can see the pews full of ghosts and zombies and skeletons looking at all of you. And
Oops.
one of them says, "Hey, what happened to the music?"
We disagreed on the music. How Elvis by way of organs is not, it's not the best scene, my friend.
Sort of looks and stands, and you can see his eyes are empty, sallow, as if this is more of a memory of his psyche stored here, like a butterfly in a collection. And it and others look at you and said, "We like Elvis," they say in union.
Have you ever heard of David Bowie?
And
she tries to reach for her phone.
that's enough of a provocation for them to attack. These are rock and roll vampires, not prog rock Bowie vampires. So you are going to be entering. You're going to be entering a battle against a dangerous foe as a team, which means you'll add 2 to the team in the scenario. Whom do we believe is the leader at this point?
It's Rick's house, so it should be Rick.
Mm-hmm. Rick, do you have influence over everyone in the team?
Let me see. Yes.
What's your purpose in this fight as the psychic ghosts lash out at you?
I think to. I think actually Rick is at the moment more interested in like putting them down long enough to get out of here. But I think the getting out is probably more the focus than beating up on these guys.
Does anyone have substantially enough purpose in this fight that you'd like to draw to my attention?
No, I think I'm in accord with Rick.
Okay, so that's +4. Does any member of the team mistrust the leader? Is your team ill prepared or off balance? I think the answer to that is yes. Okay, so I'm adding +3 to your team, which puts your current team at 5. 3 more seconds. The one at the front who is dressed like they have escaped from a rock and roll concert with sort of the hollow eyes, takes on, their face sort of explodes out with fangs and ghostly horror as they leap towards you with hands reached out. Bear, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm saving that sword for when it really gets tough. For a bigger threat. So I think I'm holding the sword in one hand, and my other hand has gone to my phone, and I think I just grab my phone and a piece of like some sort of like spell that like amplifies like noise and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
And I was listening to music beforehand, so I think I'll just try to like see what if I don't know if it's David Bowie, but I'm going to like amplify the song into like some sort of sonic blast, or at least knock this guy away.
That sounds to me like you're directly engaging a threat.
Yeah, my worst stat. Actually, no, it's not. It's not. It's superior, which is appropriate. But yeah, I'll roll with danger. Ooh, that was dangerous. That's a 4.
Okay. So you press the music on your phone, and unfortunately, the last songs that you recorded, they didn't like the music of. It's probably something like Britney or the Backstreet Boys, also revealing your pop nature to your teammates as you are forced to take a powerful blow.
That's fair. Actually, no. Yeah. Britney. I was gonna argue that no, actually, Bea is a closet Britpop fan.
That's also fun.
Yeah.
You can play Park Life as you're being throttled by a ghost. I have no issue, right?
Okay. Yeah, exactly. Let's go with that. Ooh, that's a 6. And I don't have conditions, so hell yeah.
Woo! I miss you stand strong. How do you weather the blow? What does it look like?
I think, and turns out Park Life is closer to their version of rock and roll than Britney Spears, thankfully. So I think I do manage, like, the blast, instead of pushing him away, pushes me back. So I don't really actually do damage to them, but like I managed to like get out of their attack and kind of like end up behind my teammates.
Cool.
I think I'm just grabbing for my phone trying to change the song, but like you know what, Park Life's good enough.
Cool. Okay. So at that point, the music goes, and he's pushed back as the words, his sort of hands are on your throat, and this is Park Life comes out of Damon Albarn's. So he sort of sings all the people he sort of sent whooshing back with this wall of force, giving a chance for Sai, who knew the ghosts were here all along, to react. What do you want to do, Sai?
Actually, what I would like to do, I would like to, let me see what my abilities are called. Impenetrable armor, that's what it was. Yeah, right. Okay. So, I guess I would attempt to. Lots of ghosts. I probably can't scare them by calling up other ghosts. I don't see how that would work. Maybe just, I ran through the organ and it was material. I damaged it by being not entirely material, but could try the same thing with the ghosts from the other side because I'm a bit material still. That might not go well for them, I guess. I mean, why not? I'll try it.
Okay. So you sound, you're going to directly engage a threat there, or are you going to unleash your powers?
No, I'm going to be unstoppable again.
Oh right, I got you. Okay.
I want to just rush through them and throw them around, because but what I get here is that we want to escape, right? So clearing away seems like a good idea here. and I can see the.
Okay, on a full hit, you can make a way that people can escape
Mhm.
with you and through you, and if not, there will be consequences.
I like consequences. Let's see. Yeah, but the cardinal doesn't. I've got an 11.
Okay, so you come thrashing through,
Mhm.
knocking them sideways, and so the world breaks before you, and you get what you want. What did you want? Describe what it looks like.
Well, I mean, it's like in American football, when you run at people, like the quarterback runs at people and just runs over everyone. It's pretty much a bit like that. Only size, and they're not that big really, but they're running at one ghost and tackle those ghosts a little aside, and then the other, and then the third, and they're actually the ghostly materials breaking up a bit by the interaction with a material, and that is the amalgam between the ectoplasmic and the material. It's kind of breaking them up a little, so you can see them start to flicker when Sai just runs through them, and you can run after him.
Mm-hmm.
Then
Gives everyone a chance to flow and rush through in the same time if you would like.
Yeah. I would like to do one other thing as well. I think Rick is going to like a look of concentration comes over his face, and I think he walks over to like the side of the room where I think there's just like a convenient curtain hanging down, and he's going to kind of pull back the curtain with the intent of revealing that there is a jukebox there. So I'll probably be unleashing my powers.
Okay. To reshape your environment.
Yep. That's a 7.
Would you like to mark a condition?
I think I would like to mark a condition, actually. I'm going to go for... I think hopeless feels right about now.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he pulls back this curtain, and there's a big old Wurlitzer jukebox, that's obviously always been there. And he drops a quarter into it, hits the buttons, and "You Were Always on My Mind" starts coming out of the jukebox. And I think he kind of dumps a handful of coins onto the floor. They start rolling sort of down the aisle.
Okay. Okay, and as you're doing that, you can sort of see there's a clattering for the coins. The people pick them up, and as you're sort of fleeing down the corridor, you can hear them singing Elvis. And as it sort of goes and slightly fades back out into sort of being slightly more chant-like, as things you think there turn to something like normal. At that point, as we've turned the page on that scene, let's take 5 minutes, folks, and then we will come back and see what the team does next. So you're in one of the cathedral corridors. It is a corridor of black, which has paintings hang on the wall, but all of them are covered in black cloth. You catch your breath, and what is Bayer doing?
Yeah, I think she's shut off Park Life. Probably can feel Sherry's gaze on her and just kind of like mutters to herself, "I'm sorry, I only like some pop songs," and and I think like she's like looking around, and because this is not a familiar part of this place. She's only been in the guided tour, And yeah, I think no, she doesn't want to like go full on. I think she will turn to Rick. It's just got any other ideas where he could be?
I mean, he could be anywhere, I guess. He could be, I mean, I suppose it's possible he's still locked down in the dungeon and it's just, he's found some way of doing all this.
That'll be a
Let
place to
me
start at least.
let me see, and I think Rick is going to kind of close his eyes, and sort of concentrate for a moment. And yeah, I think I am going to trigger my dark visions.
Mark a track on your doom and ask me a question, and I will answer it honestly.
Yeah, and I think my question will be quite simply, where is Mr. Czin hiding? Or where is he? I mean, he may not be hiding, I suppose, but
you sort of feel this place open itself to you. It's resisting, as if something has got part control of it. And there is a dusty study that you're not sure that you've ever been in before, but it is definitely familiar somehow. You know where it is. It's, you sort of see a secret passageway opens in a wall, and you see a spiral staircase leading down, and you know that's the way you need to go.
yeah, and I think Rick will say, we need to head down here. I think I think I know where he is.
If we get to him before whatever the hell that table was meant to summon, that'll be much better. Do you know any shortcuts?
Well, we head down this passageway, and I'll see if I can get us there quicker once we get down.
Cool. Well, not to bring it out in the open, but we're kind of at your. We're kind of. We'll follow you wherever you go, Rick.
Thanks, Beer. I'll try not to get us too lost in this place.
Well, if anyone can do that, it's you, probably.
Who enters the stairwell first?
I think Rick will, unless anyone shows a particular desire to get in front of him, but I think he's intending to take the lead.
Okay, as you step onto the stairwell, whom is next?
I go next. Or do you want to? I want to see Bea and Sherry. Sorry.
Okay. Fair enough.
As a player, not as a character, I'm a bit don't have hair.
Okay, well, you step foot onto the stairwell side, and there is a click, and the door slams shut at speed. The stairwell goes like that, and the two of you are spiraling down to the darkness, leaving Bea and Sherry looking at each other.
Sorry.
Alone together at last. To which Bea rubs her eyes and says, "My immortal soul isn't worth this."
I don't feel the same. Look, it's just.
I never knew what you felt, Bea. That's why we broke up.
But I thought I was nothing but extremely clear about everything I felt. I thought that was your problem with me. Now I'm feeling it's apparently it's the opposite.
So What do you mean? What did you think you were obvious and honest about?
Well, I thought I was obvious enough that I thought your mentor was a prick who had very selective standards. I thought I was obvious enough that you were very clear, even though it might not seem to you, that 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 you picked her over me.
I said, what was I supposed to do? Give up magic? There's space enough for you and her in my life.
Well, that's not what I meant. But you know fully well if you study with her, you know what she thinks of me. And if you went with her, then you must share some of those opinions.
Said, I shared no such opinions. I think you're incredibly talented and you should have had a chance to serve with her. But I don't think, quite honestly, Bayer, that you could have served with anybody. I don't think you're capable of serving. You're going to find your own way. And that's one of the things I've always liked about you.
All right. I roll Volta to run away.
I'll leave that and turn the page a moment as we see the other two of you spiraling downwards in the dark on the stairwell.
I take it this isn't normal.
I mean, I've certainly never had this happen before. It's not usually the kind of Scooby-Doo vibe to this place, but and it kind of like, you know, stands up and dusts himself down.
Yeah.
Come on, I think you're still spiraling. You haven't reached the bottom.
Sure.
Can you make us reach the bottom, maybe, or will there be an endless abyss of falling?
I can certainly try.
You see a glittering cape of swords and a flash of silken color in the dark, and that's about it. It's getting fast.
See, behind us?
Above you.
Okay.
Coming down. You sort of see it occasionally, but you are accelerating at speed. You didn't realize this place was this big.
You know what I'm going to do? Remember that sesame ball I took with me? And that he said was his?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna eat it now. Because I can, and I'm nervous, and I want to bite into something, and I need some easy relief here. Anyway, and I've got the sesame ball.
I'll let you do that.
Probably not a good idea, but...
So as you do that, you see Mary Andrews sort of leap forth onto the stairwell in front of you, and it gasps as it sees you, and it says, "I've killed you already!" And its cape of swords swooshes across you. And I'd like you to take a powerful blow, unless someone's willing to defend you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to try and defend Sai at this point. And I think maybe how this looks is I think that Rick is going to try and like force the steps to like level out again, so that they'll probably like be catapulted forwards, but it should throw off Mary Andrews' attack. And I'll see how that goes. That is a 6.
Okay.
Oh no, sorry, it's a 7 because it's. I always forget that
Influence counts on defend.
Yeah.
Okay. So would you like to expose yourself to danger or escalate the situation?
I think it's got to be escalate the situation, really. I think we've have maybe helped Sai to dodge that one blow, but this is definitely going to be a fight now.
Okay. I say, Grant, what else are you doing? Adding a team to the pool, influence over your protect, or clearing a condition. Ooh, you've got two of them. You might want to.
I think actually I'm going to get rid of. I'm actually going to. I think I'm still angry at this point, but I think I'm going to get rid of hopeless because I think I've shown that I can master this place.
You sort of see as you push the cape away that the swords glitter, and in each of them there are many faces pushing and pressing against it, screaming. One of them appears and you spot it, and it looks to be someone who looks just like Sai LaRue. But as you do this, the figure slices at the stairwell, rocks and stones go flying as you two are thrown over the edge and down into the darkness. Let's cut the page back to see if the first time ever Bayam and Eva being speechless has recaptured their voice. So say Sherry has got her arms folding, looking at you and waiting for your response.
I think I'm going to activate my vulnerability move, but does that only work for the team? Or is that work with any other character?
I'll let it. She's a significant NPC, right? She's got real emotional connection to you as a character, so I'm happy to take that because I know I'm going to get a good role play out of it. So let's do it.
Yeah, so when you share a vulnerability or weakness with someone, ask them to confirm or deny that you should be here. So I think Bear's speechless, and you really think that? I mean, you just saw what happened, and you've seen me. You've probably seen me mess up more than anyone else.
Ted, messing up is part of learning, Bear. If we hadn't dabbled with things we shouldn't have years ago in all sorts of different ways, then we wouldn't be on this journey. She squeezes your hand and sort of comes in close and says, I've missed you.
Yeah, without you, the journey's really sucked. I played too much Good Society. I don't want to make the first move. No one wants to do that in that game. Yeah, I think. I mean, if she's up for it, like.
If you lean in for a kiss, she will kiss you back. If that's what you're asking, yes.
Yes, yeah.
So they confirm you should be here. Mark potential and give them influence over you.
Probably should have had that from the start, honestly.
Yeah, probably, possibly, but she's a teen hero, so it's always a bit more difficult with the teen ones, I think. But now she definitely has, and she says, "Do you think the other two are okay?"
Absolutely not. We should go find them.
I can't believe you ate a feast left open to summon a voodoo god. Only you.
Well, I didn't notice. I knew we were coming here, so I thought, well, Rick's gonna have something prepared. So I didn't really eat much today. She's saying this as she's kind of like unsheathing the blade. And
okay, yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I think as she's unsheathing the blade, he's saying, I got hungry. I had to work extra shifts today, and oh yeah. And you know I'm crap at swords. So I wasn't really planning on using this to like fight anyone, But I learned some things people didn't know about blades of this era. You know how King Arthur's legends, whatnot. There's always lots of these meetings with Fae from other dimensions. Turns out, and Bea's like trying to trying to almost balance the blade to almost kind of find like a specific nick somewhere in the middle of the air. Yeah, turns out with stuff like this, you can get to wherever you need. I think I'm unleashing my powers by
Okay.
reshaping the environment to try and get to where they are.
Sure.
But I'm using this sword, so I will be rolling with mundane. Is that okay?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. This turns out well. That's an 8. Just about.
Okay, so describe. Do you want it to be? Do you want to mark a condition? Do you want to be unstable or temporary?
Let's make it unstable temporary. Even though we just
Okay.
had a big moment for her, I did say at the start of the session.
Describe it. Describe what happens.
I think she finds the nick in the air that she's looking for. Proper Philip Pullman and subtle knife style. And she just kind of pushes through, and you can tell that she's cutting through bits of this dream. I think actually I should say this is probably on the floor. Actually, that makes more sense. And she's slowly and I think from what Sherry could see, this is a more this is way more methodical than Bea's ever been. It's just okay, just a bit more, and she's muttering words to herself, just proper Fae spirit stuff. And yeah, there's a hole being formed on the floor, leading into some. Well, where does it lead to?
I think it probably you sort of cut it and you cut this and all this precise moment and you're looking and you look at Sherry and she looks impressed and then you sort of this moment where you realize you're standing a little too close to the hole as it falls downwards and you're in that study I described earlier. You see Sherry looking to drop down with you and the hole re-shuts and you see her above. You are on your own with Mr. Czin. Should have marked a condition, shouldn't you? Definitely escalate the scenario. As we see that going down through the darkness, you've been falling for some time. What are Rick and Sai doing?
Okay, we've I think we have passed a slight moment of panic by falling, and at one point I'm saying I think we're not really stopping to fall, right? I mean, we're just falling. It's like in a dream where you can't stop falling unless you wake up, but we don't want to wake up. We want to go somewhere else in your dream, and in this dream, in somebody's dream. Can you make that happen?
Sure, I think so.
I mean, if I can help, and then kind of any way, I don't know much about magic. I just.
Can you hold on to my hand?
Sure.
Yeah, and I'll reach out to grab Sai's hand.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I'm trying not to face out or through or anything.
Yeah, and I will attempt to do a very similar thing and kind of control our exit from this slide.
Going to need to either unleash your powers or use something suitable.
Yeah, no, I think it's going to be unleash powers again.
Unless you want another piece of doom to use an adult move.
That is a 9. Do I want to?
Can I help? Because
yeah, you could help.
Because let's spend some of this team. We've got enough of that. Let's get
That's
up
true,
to
yeah.
10.
Describe how that looks while I'll grumble quietly that you didn't let me make David spend another doom point.
What that looks like is that I'm just trying to perceive where the dreamscape is getting looser or thicker, and then just direct him a bit towards a place where the dream is not as well structured. Because I can sense dreams, so.
Okay. You take more control back in this place, Rick. What does it look like?
Yeah, so I think this like spiral staircase, like the bottom of it starts to like it does one of those. It sort of starts to sort of like switch from being like not quite vertical, but from being like acute, sort of like leveling out. And I think there's actually just for a moment we're like going along like on one of those like when you have the plastic sheeting that you sort of when we get to the end of it.
I'm back. Sorry, just as you started to describe, it all went horribly wrong, and I could see this moment where it froze. I got a new laptop a while ago, and I've got like a range extender for the Wi-Fi in the house. Sometimes it still thinks it's on the other room, and it'll occasionally drop. So I forgot to put it in flight mode and use the wired connection. But now I am back. We're still recording. Would you like to take back up your description from the top, please?
Yeah, certainly. So yeah, as I say, as we kind of come down and start sliding, the kind of our descent levels out, and there's a moment where we look like we're sliding on one of those like I said, I'm forgetting what you call it, but like the sort of long plastic sheets that you like put soapy water on and slide along when you're kids, and we sort of slide down that and come to a rest on like a carpet running down the length of a somber hallway. And as we look behind us, it's just carpet going along there as well, back to the spiral staircase.
Mm-hmm. Well, the spiral staircase itself is probably about no more than about 3 floors of stairs. So something extremely odd was happening in this space. And you see this corridor is long, but at the end of it, there is one door, and it's the door that you saw in your vision. On the other side of that door, we see Bear Minerva with Mr. Czin. Czin is flicking through what looks to be a handwritten journal. The journal's maybe of a 1,000-year-old vampire. As he flicks through and he closes the book and says, "Oh, I wasn't expecting you, Bear Minerva."
Nobody ever expects Bear Minerva.
Looks and sort of raises his can't raise his eyebrow, hasn't got an eyebrow. This look of skeletal horror on its face, going like, "I can't believe you've just said that. I am the necromancer, Mr. Czin, and for your terrible comments, I shall strip the flesh from your body and make a cup from your skull."
Yeah, let's not do that. If that's okay. I mean, you're really rocking the skeletal look. Bea's saying this as she's kind of like, actually no, it's a study. She can't really circle around him. She's still holding the blade, I guess. In her hands.
By the way, I'm gonna check for you, if you'd like, pull off a ridiculous stunt, because cutting through this place with the sword of Vortigern seems like a ridiculous stunt to me. But
okay, all right, cool.
I can't think of much more ridiculous you could do with that sword right now. But he sort of looks at you and says, and you can see necrotic energy sort of form in his hands as you feel, literally, you can feel your skin beginning to crawl and tauten around you.
I think I'm in the panic because all my prepared spells are in my pocket, but my hands are full with this ridiculous sword. I am just gonna try to hit him with it, with the flat. Or he's a skeleton. He can. No, I think in a panic, for sure. And because her hands are full, um, she will try to like just whack him. I think like a baseball bat.
Okay, so it sounds like to me like you're trying to directly engage a threat.
Yeah, and I've used up this sword now, so back to danger.
It's still a powerful sword. You still got it. You just can't have a +2 from it.
Yeah, I'm fine with that. As mentioned, XP. So 4, 5, 6. Whew, that's a 5.
The sword blow. You sort of, there's this moment where you stab out and through his suit, and you look really confident about what you've done. And then you realize that your swordplay training has allowed you to stab a skeleton through the ribs. So you've got this sword, and you're standing there, and Mr. Czin looks down and says, "This was my favorite suit." And he presses his hand on your sword arm, and you see your flesh wither and age before you as your arm is petrified. Please mark a condition.
Ooh. This sounds like I'm in a bit of a hopeless situation.
I was just checking myself there actually to make sure I haven't hit any with lines or veils. I think I'm okay. Good. All right. Different game I'm playing in. Okay. So yeah, there's that, and you scream, and you can hear them. You can hear Bear screaming from behind the closed door, which is at the end of the corridor in front of you. What do you do, Rick?
Yeah, I think Rick's just going to run down the corridor and slam into the door to open it.
Okay. Cool. The door is open in front of you, and you can see this sort of energy. You can see exactly as I picked up in the previous panel, the screaming bear and their arm withering as Mr. Czin is feeding on their life energy. What do you do?
Can I go defend Bea?
That attack is over, so you can't directly defend them. You could directly engage a threat to pull them away.
Yeah. I would like to do that because I think I make a better target for life energy draining things, or maybe not. Who knows? But I don't want him to suck on Bea. She's my friend.
So you're rolling a
Hey.
danger.
The dice seem to believe that Bea is my friend as well, so I've got a 12. Sorry.
I'm pretty sure that at this point, Cy LaRue deserves a different dice roll, because Cy LaRue is actually unstoppable. Bang. You could have used Be the Monster if you wanted to as well. That would have been the other one that would have been appropriate if you wanted to use that. But which would you like to do?
I think I would directly engage trade blows.
Choose 2.
Yeah. I take something from them, which is Bea, basically. And I think I would like to impress, surprise, or frighten him.
When he notices it is you, Revenant, if a skeletal face could look scared, it does. You can see sort of the light in its eyes pinprick out.
And I'm basically shouting at him, "That's my friend. You don't get to do this to her."
Said, I didn't mean it. Don't hurt me. I didn't know it was your friend.
Okay.
Rick, what are you doing?
Yeah, I think Rick follows Sai in, and he's looking like he's been kind of agitated, I think, all of this time, but you can actually see like the anger it sort of spilling through now, as he says, "What are we going to have to do to actually stop you, Zin? You have been eating your way through the city, and now you're coming for my friends even after we put you away. Is this ever going to end?" And I think he's just going to reach out and act in a very similar way to the way Zin was feeding on Bear just now. Rick stretches out his hand, and I think he's going to start drawing energy out of Zin.
That is definitely for me, unless there's a playbook move and unleash your powers.
I was going to go for directly engage, but yeah, unleash your powers is also fine.
Unless you want to spend a point of doom to wield your powers or overwhelm a vulnerable foe.
Ooh, actually, yeah, I'm gonna go for overwhelm a vulnerable foe, and mark a point of doom. For a minute there, it was taunting me with a 9. That's an 8.
So the 7 to 9, you choose one. On a hit, the fight's over, they're done. On a 10 plus, choose one. On a 7 to 9, choose 2. The fight's done. Anyway, you will get to decide what it is, but which 2 are you choosing from the...
Yeah, I'm going to choose... I think I'm going to choose... I think I'm actually going to choose both. I hurt my foe more than I intended, and I take a powerful blow in turn.
Okay, so let's roll on the take a powerful blow, and then we'll narrate it all together for you.
Sure thing. That's a 5. 5, I think so. I think I've only got 1 marked at the moment.
You have, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so describe this moment of dark power that comes out of you, Rick.
Yeah, I think it's we kind of see, like, he reaches out his hand, and I think we see like a sort of spectral image of Zin being drawn out of him, and it's sort of it's absorbed. It's not so much that Rick like swallows the energy that's coming, a bit kind of like comes in like almost like wisps of steam into his nose and mouth and ears and even eyes, I think, as well. I think he keeps like absorbing this power, and he. I think for a moment he seems like a bit like taller and more powerful, and that passes after a moment. But yeah, there's just that moment there.
Can I try to stop him before he draws all of Sin in? Because I've got questions. I just remembered that I've got questions for this guy.
when you defend someone or something for an immediate threat. So yeah, you can defend Zin before Zin is totally destroyed.
Okay, yeah, I would try, because I'll go up to Rick and say, Rick, please stop that. We have questions. I need to find out why he killed me.
Are you
Please.
trying to defend Zin or provoke Rick?
I'm trying at that point. I'm trying to defend Zin, but I'm not doing it by hitting Rick. But at first, I'm trying to do it with words, and then we'll see how the roll goes, and then maybe I'll just try to get in the middle of this. Damn it! I rolled a 10 again. I'm sorry. Defend is with Savior, right?
It is.
Yeah, I've got a 1 of Savior. I'm not that bad at that.
Yeah, and you got influence over Rick, so it's a full hit. A hit, you keep them safe and choose one. What would you like to choose? Take a team from the pool, take influence over someone you protect, or clear a condition. Hey, maybe you want to take influence over Mrs. In.
Yeah, I'll take influence over Mr. Zin. That's perfect. I mean, that's a
mark
good.
that onto your sheet, but describe what this looks like, because I don't think Rick's in a listening mode. You are ultimately going to have to do something physical.
Okay, I'll place myself between the two of them, just so that when he draws energy, he can draw some of mine. I guess that's not very pleasant for me, but maybe he'll notice that, I guess.
You see the sort of view that there's energy flowing in. It's almost as if the actual dust and bone that holds Zin together is starting to shake apart before you push Rick aside, and Zin collapses to the floor, sort of weak, trying to push themselves back up. Let's deal with Sai first, and then maybe see what Bayer and Rick are doing in a second. So Sai, Zin is gasping and sort of concentrating. He's not really out of breath. It's sort of trying to describe and emote the functions of a skeleton is harder than I imagined when I introduced this villain. But this skeleton is sort of shaking, clacking in its bones. You can sort of feel there's a force of will to stop itself from falling apart.
And I'm looking at him and I say, look, I don't mean to hurt anybody, but you have me killed, and I want to know what that was about. So unless you're not telling me, I mean, there is a lot of ghost energy in you, and I can disrupt that, and I don't want to, but I will if I have to. So tell me, why did you have me killed, and what's with that Mary Andrew fellow, and anything?
Are you going to provoke them at that point?
I'm so much provoking him. Yeah. And I think that's with Superior, right? Yeah.
It is with Superior, but you've got a +1 forward, remember, because you've got influence on him.
Yeah, that gives me a flat roll. It's a 9. I'm sorry. I apologize for rolling too good. Too well. But maybe somebody could help me here a little and spend one of our team.
You could definitely act selfishly in this instance if you so wanted to.
Well, if you have influence over him, that's a +1, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I've got a -1 on Superior, so I'm not very superior. So okay, yeah, I think I will, because I'm pretty much ignoring the other two here, because this is like, yeah.
So when you spend a point of team selfishly, see your actions, ignore or insult your teammate, remove 1 from the pool and shift 1 label up and 1 down. I think you have just shoved Rick away, and I think we can probably deal with the impact of that afterwards. So shift 1 of your labels. For sending team selfishly,
yeah, okay.
Sai, you've got to move 1 of your labels.
Oh, I will move 1 of my labels. I think I will move Savior down and Superior up.
Okay.
Seems because I need that point of Superior here.
It says you're touched. You have the white mark. All of you had the white mark. I had to stop you before you woke up. Mary Andrew doesn't want anyone to join the family. You're not allowed to be here. You should have died. I was too late getting to you.
What is the white mark? What does that mean?
Said, this city breeds dreams and nightmares, and it breeds new gods from time to time. You're a little lower, ready to wake up, and Mary Andrew doesn't want any more in the family. He's jealous and wishes his mother and father's love.
You say
killed. And now that you are here, and it knows you're here, and it's here with you, it's going to destroy you all. That's the trap. And I knew that the idiocy of Bea Minerva would be that she would take something from the table.
Well, I took something from the table as well, so...
Double idiocy!
Well, if he wants to kill me, I will have to, or it, whatever, I will have to confront it anyway at one point, right? Right, guys?
Like we'll turn back round. I think to react with the team going selfishly, you probably pushed Rick away harder than you initially expected to, and Rick is pulling himself up from the shelves of a bookcase. Bea, what did you do as Rick is shoved into the bookcase?
Sorry, I accidentally made a giant clock appear over the mute button. Damn you, Windows. Yeah, I think throughout like the scene, Bea has kind of been is really shook and is more concerned with her arm. So I'm not actually sure if she noticed what was happening. I think she noticed when Rick, when Shadow went all, behold my magnificence, evil Queen Galadriel, on Mr. Czin. But I think at this point, like it's almost like she's more like looking over arm and like kind of like whimpering to herself, and she's like reaching into her pocket to like. She's concerned about her own stuff at the moment. I don't think she noticed the high drama happening in front of her. Like I'm imagining when she got saved, she got kind of like pushed back to like some books, and she's just kind of like been laying there all in shock and looking over her arm. So this is all on Rick. Sorry,
Rick.
Yeah, so I think as Sai broke like the connection between Rick and Zin, I think Rick has gone like pale, and as he like crashes into the bookshelf, he just kind of doubles over, like grabbing onto it, knocking off a few books for support, and I think he's just like throwing up in the corner as the shock of all of this kind of is kind of sweeping over him.
Okay. I think that's a point to take again another just 5-minute break on this scene, and we'll come back and deal with the emotional fallout from this for the last 45 minutes or so of play. Recording. So Rick's shocked at what they've done. Bea is in shock at what has been done to them. Sai, you are the first one to come back to your senses and see the devastation around you, and you hear this cackling coming from Mr. Czin, who's laughing with pleasure.
I will ignore Mr. Czin at this point. I don't understand what I don't really want to know what he's telling me. I don't want to understand. That's probably the close. So I'll go over to Rick and try to, I don't know, help something like, sorry, I pushed you away. I shouldn't have. I'm sorry you're feeling bad. Can I do something? Anything, really? And I'm going to mark guilty because I'm feeling guilty as hell.
Oh, that's very kind. But you can probably comfort and support.
Yes, I will then start to comfort and support. Wait a minute, I've got to move for that. Yes. I mean, you have this you have these amazing abilities, and you're still so grounded. I have no control whatsoever, really. Well, you brought us here, right? And you kind of vanquished this evil person all by yourself. I'm sorry I pushed you away because I had a question. And I will roll with Freak now, because when you comfort and support someone, if you tell them what you most envy about them, you can roll plus Freak instead of plus Mundane. And Rick kind of seems to have it together pretty much. So that's what I envy about him. See how that roll goes. Yeah, that wasn't so good. No, that wasn't that good at all. Wow, I've got a 3. Plus Freak, it's still a 6, so maybe, I don't know, can they help?
Does that count your influence over me?
Oh, no, it doesn't. Yay, I've got influence, so it's a 7. Yes.
Cool. Yeah, and Rick kind of lets out a hollow chuckle, and he says, "Sir, you got nothing to apologize for. If you hadn't stopped me then, I'd have eaten him. I'd have taken everything that makes him who he is, and I'd have eaten him. I don't know anything. I don't know about control, but I know this. I'd have done it if you hadn't stopped me. And the worst thing is, it felt good. It felt real good."
Wow. Well, I don't know about that, but well, thanks for saying that. I'm what do we do with him now? What's about Dea? How's she?
You hear sound of ice cream bar wrapper being opened up. And well, the thing is, like, she doesn't look the most fine. I think when we get like, when Sai says, what do we do with Bea, then we get like the sound effect of the wrapper, and when we turn page, the panel is like Bea is just like she's holding with her good hand the ice cream bar wrapper. Her other hand, there's like a bunch of like notepad paper just kind of like wrapped around where the stuff kind of like petrified. And she says, we can't do much right now, can we? That Mary Andrew thing's coming. Because I fucked up.
You're not the only one. How do you keep them cool?
I have a trick. I always have a trick. Okay. No, it's just... let's find Sherry and just get out of here.
Cool. So, as we let's have a little flashback panel to that trick. The first time that Sherry bought you a ice cream sandwich, and you were worried about it melting, and the two of you, how did you manage to stop the ice cream from melting on that hot day?
I think that was also the day that like I had shown her off this coat that I shouldn't be wearing on a hot summer's day. And I was saying like, no, this where, how we always had that problem where we had to rely on like a book, where we had to like, or a notepad to keep ripping stuff off. Well, this coat, have you seen these pockets? they're amazing. They can fit so many things. And we did start arguing about, wait, so you bought that coat, how are you going to keep warm? And instead of, arguing, escalating, instead, that was kind of like their project for the summer, is like lining this coat with like this kind of like thread with this like, not semi-permanent, but this like, a spell that they can easily recharge so that things keep cool inside that pocket. Here's another thing if Sherry complains, like, I fucking love those ice cream sandwiches, don't you? It's like, yeah, I can't exist without them, Sherry. They're almost, I promise, they're almost equivalent to you. Almost equivalent. So yeah, that's what they worked on. I think the flashback is kind of like probably silent panels of like, them by on a hot summer's day eating ice cream, working on this coat, and I think we even get like a flashback panel to something you've never seen, which is like the two of them being out and about with all their cool magic stuff. I think the panel we come back to. Sorry, Dave, you were muted. The panel we come back to is like just very angrily munching on this ice cream sandwich.
And then we flip the page to see a terrified expression on Sherry's face as you see her face glittering against one of Mary Andrews' swords. What is the team doing? Who's taking the lead? Where are you going?
Bear standing up. And it's just like, give up. I left Sherry at that corridor. Is there a way to get back there?
We can try heading back up the stairs. I think it should more or less lead to the same place.
David, more specific, Rick, you feel like this place is a little bit more yours now after that outburst of your power. And any time you wish to express a point on your doom track, you can influence and control this space.
Cool.
Do remind yourself what your bits are in your sanctum as well. You chose.
Yes, I chose a library of valuable tomes, a containment system, art, music, and food. But yeah, I think actually that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, I think what I will mark that point of doom to essentially, what I'm going to say is I'm going to mark the point of doom to take us to where Sherry is. As I think I kind of reach out and feel for her essence in the labyrinth of rooms.
See this panel, it's a double page panel of you in the room, and the sort of room opens up to darkness and you flip and it's a double page of you, and we see the entire scale of this place, but it all goes down to dark roots at the bottom and something in a catacomb, and you see this sort of little tiny figure of Mary Andrew and Sherry in the catacomb, and there you realize that is where they are.
Cool.
It is something about that entire feeling of this moment of this isn't literally grown out of someone's dreams is terrifying and disquieting as you realize you are literally walking through someone's thoughts and dreams.
Yeah. He's going to kind of look in thought for a moment and then just turn and say, I know where she is. Follow me. Well, no, he's. I mean, he's not going to make it a surprise. As I was going to say, Mary Andrew has her. He's taken her to the catacombs.
We see over the page, we can see the terrified look on her face as Mary Andrews' hand is around her throat, pushed back against. What would you say Rick, the coffin that your father would have been buried in looks like?
I think actually it's. I'm going to go for the more for the. I think it looks like one of those. In sort of in horror films when they kind of like drag a coffin out from like a swamp or has been buried in the mud and it's just like warped wood, just obviously like a cheap pine coffin with like the boards are sort of splitting and warping. It's definitely not like a fancy sarcophagus or anything like that.
Cool. So she's pushed back against it, and this sort of last sword in his hand, he sort of raises it up and says, first of all, the cape sort of whooshes up and all of the swords stab down into the coffin, and they all start glittering, and the voices and hand faces in them start draining down. And he says, it's a shame that little lower could not be bound, but still the blood of a witch will do just as well. And he raises the sword, at which point how would we know, Bear, that Sherry has invoked a powerful spell?
Ooh, I think, ooh, I don't want to just say her eyes change, but that's always nifty. I think her eyes kind of like take on this like more, demonic's the wrong word, but like more devilish sense, I guess. Like the whites in her eyes turn black and the pupils turn this like bright purple.
Sounds cool. We think that sort of dark, shadowy look that like Fempendo often uses, and then you can see a look of like she desperate to be rescued. At which point she goes, "Fuck you, asshat!" And he is exploded back across the wall. And the two of them, he gets back up, and they are drawn into a fight. You can feel that go off, Bear. You can feel it. You can feel the connection, the emotion connection to her. She is in grave peril. She's holding her own, but she ain't gonna last for long.
Yeah, I think Bea stops. She's not finished the ice cream sandwich and just kind of wraps it around her wrapper. It's just like, let's go. You muted it.
Hey, you know that teleportation trick you pulled?
Well, that had an anchor with. Fuck it.
What if you? I think I can make you remember the place we're gonna go.
All right. I think she pulls out like an A4 sheet, picks up a book, and starts very quickly sketching. And I think she says like, "Come on, you pick up that sword. I meant to hold it for Duke."
Yeah, and I think Rick is going to reach out and touch Bear's forehead, and give her a memory of this twisting catacomb beneath the surface of the cathedral.
So I think it is. Hey, I tell you what. Why don't you, Rick, try to assess the situation?
Sure thing.
That +1 can be offered over to Bayer if you are successful. You ask the questions correctly. Well, not
sure
correctly.
thing.
Well,
Unfortunately, that is only a 5. I am not very good at assessing, sadly.
We'll have you some potential and make your flat unleash your powers roll, please, Bear. Unless you think there's something in this room that you want to take to unleash your.
Before we go,
Oh yeah.
while Bea is preparing, I would turn to Mr. Czin and tell him, okay, we're going to fight it now. Does it have any vulnerabilities? Anything you can use against it?
It's sort of at this point, Zin is sort of putting himself up on the desk, and he says, "Why did you think I would tell you?"
Because otherwise I will break you apart.
Are you definitely provoking him again, or are you piercing the mask? Or
I'm definitely provoking him again. I'm trying to. It's superior, right? Yeah. See how that goes. If this goes well. Well, yeah, it goes well. I'm sorry. I can't help it. I'm deleting these dice now. I'm deleting these dice now. That's boring. I need more potential.
you're a dice rolling machine. What did you roll?
10.
10. Sorry. Okay. He sort of stands up and says, "I'll tell you for my freedom."
Oh, okay. Can always capture him again.
I'm using one of the powers at this point, which is Devil's Bargain.
Okay.
So here you won. He said, "I will tell you, but this is my deal." And he says, "Mary Andrew is not its real name. It's how it hides itself. Its real name is Gede. And that will give your little magic users some advantage.
Gede.
And now
Okay.
I will take my leave." And it claps its hands, and the door appears, and it sort of takes its hat off a rack and steps through.
Yeah, go fuck off.
There's a chance for you to flee at the same time, should you wish to. No one escaping? Oh,
No.
Real heroes.
Nope. I want to. This Gede killed me.
Cool. Bear, how did you roll, or have you rolled yet to do your teleportation?
Not yet. Thanks for reminding me that we're in a study where I can find stuff to use. So I think the book that Bea grabbed is not an ordinary book. It is a book about traversing dreamscapes, very imaginatively called The Dreamscape Traverser by Francesca Legati. The book is also the tool. That was one of her marketing points when she made it back in 1875. And so subsequently, there aren't many copies of the book left because people kept using it to travel to places, and usually not the places they wanted to go. So good luck with this one. Okay, and I needed that because roll mundane, but I have hopeless, so I'll give you a -2 to unleash. So if I move to mundane, that turns to a flat roll. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. No, that was a 6. Well, we still have team.
You still have team. Is anyone going to assist? And what does it look like? I think we already.
I feel like it would be.
Rick
I feel like it would be
to...
cheating for me to help it after failing the other role. So I will demur.
But you're not going to. I think realistically, I think Sai is busy elsewhere. But
Yeah.
you're not going to give up, are you? You're going to act selfishly, definitely.
God, yeah, that was my other plan. Yes.
What does it look like? How? Because again, when you act selfishly, you've got to do something that causes further tension in the team later on. What does that look like?
I think when I think this Rick will feel this most because he's the one who's like feeding me this info. I think there is now like this uneasy feeling coming from like Bea about you two specifically. Now it's like there's like this like small foundation, like not revulsion, but just unease, as she's kind of like very quickly sketching out this diagram, and you can tell that like because she's going for this not because this thing is targeting you, it's because she's targeting her, I guess, kind of girlfriend again.
Cool. Then shift your labels.
Yeah, moving my mundane up and my savior down. Well, actually, yes. Actually, no, my freak should go down. That makes more sense.
You've been saved for the powers of human smooching, as there is. But are you going to mark a condition? Is this temporary or unstable?
I am afraid, for sure.
Okay. And we see this moment as you literally shoot through the black roots of this place, and you are at the center of this mind palace, with the energy has now crackled into the coffin, and we can see it cracking and shaking from within. We see Sherry has got all sorts of defensive wards up against Mary Andrew, who's leaping around her and giggling as if playing with like a cat playing with a mouse, and the three of you are suddenly there. You are entering battle against a dangerous foe as a team. So I'm adding 2 back to the pool in a moment, and I'm asking the question, who is acting as the leader of the team this time?
This definitely feels like Bea's party.
I was going to suggest the same. Do you have influence over everybody, Bea?
Unfortunately not. I'm missing Sai.
Well, get some bonding going on. What is your purpose in this fight, Spare?
Save Sherry.
Does anyone have a different purpose? Anyone have a significantly different purpose?
Yes, I think I do now.
So do I.
What's your purpose?
My purpose is to, to get to the bottom of this and maybe get this guy to regret killing me, basically.
Okay. And what about yours, Rick?
Having now, as they arrive on the scene, his purpose is very, very suddenly to stop that coffin from opening.
Okay. Does the team mistrust the leader, or does anyone in the team mistrust the team?
After what I just said.
Okay. Is your team ill-prepared or off balance? I'm not going to say that to you, so I'll be kind enough on that point, but I will put 1 back into the team. So
can I mark a condition to avoid removing?
Oh, yeah, you can.
I think I am now. Actually, how am I feeling? How am I feeling? Let me see these. I think I'm feeling a bit guilty now for being angry at everyone, honestly.
Okay. We have 3 in the team. And as the 3 of you arrive, it is almost without a blink, it sort of rolls and tumbles over, and a sword goes straight at you, Sai, and you're going to take a powerful blow.
Fair enough. I've got 1 condition. Okay. Oh, wow. Okay, the new dice roll as well as the old ones, sadly. So it's a 12. That's not very good.
Oh dear. Are you removing yourself from the situation? Do you lose control of your powers in a terrible way, or do you choose from the 7 to 9 list?
No, I lose control of myself, my powers in a terrible way, of course. I mean, I'm dead because of this guy, and I think I remember something about this sword and what happened there, and I think I will,
So let me paint the scene as you sort of see this guy and the sword flashes. You remember the moment you died, almost to the moment where that sword plunged through you. And you feel the part of your spirit still in that sword. And the Mary Andrew figure giggles and says, I will take the rest of you, I think. Little never was.
well, I will
What
shout.
does unleashing your powers in an uncontrolled way look like?
Well, it seems that, I mean, what I will do here, or what I will attempt to do, is unleash my powers by just plowing into him, just trying to disrupt whatever it is that it is, just to enter. I mean, I'm pretty disrupted between having a physical body and being of ectoplasmic origin. Just let's go in there and just wreak havoc.
Okay, so as you smash into them, the force between the two of you making contact is quite explosive, quite psychically explosive. And both Rick and Bea, can you please take a condition? And Rick, you can feel that whatever has just happened has disrupted the psychic construct of this place. And unless you reassert control, it will shatter and collapse.
Would it make sense for me to take angry as a condition here?
Yeah, I think so. And poor Bea is in condition crazy. But let's see how, Rick, you react to the tendrils of this place almost snapping like taut cords. This place will float away unless you do something to bring it back under your control.
Yeah, and I think we kind of I think we see those kind of threads like spiraling around, and Rick is kind of almost like in his mind. We almost get that kind of like Inception level of like seeing things like differently, of like of him sort of trying to sort of forcibly pull all of these threads together. And I think actually in the room, I think that he kind of manifests this by he grabs like a mallet and like a box of nails that are in here, and he starts to like pound nails down into the lid of this coffin, sort of ignoring everything else going on around him. And I think I might actually let's see, sorry, just checking. Yes, I am going to mark a doom sign, mark a doom, sorry, I should say, which will actually give me a doom sign. Well, that said, to wield my powers.
Please roll with some freak.
That is an 11. So my on a 10 plus, I get to choose 2 from the list, and I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create something useful from my environment, and I think in this case that will be just kind of strengthening the integrity of the place that we're in, sort of reinforcing it. And I would also like to neutralize an opponent or threat, at least for now, which in this case will be my father, as I nail the lid back on that coffin.
As each nail throws down, we see this moment of reflection, panel by panel, as the shadow Rick Soto realizes that they are their father's keeper. And should their attention waver for even one moment, then now they are powerful enough to awaken. Sherry is not in a good way, Bayer. She is quite badly wounded in a fight for something way beyond their power and training. What would you like to do?
Yeah, I think I can see like her defensive wards are kind of like failing, and I think I'm running toward her, shouting her name, and I think I've reached down in my pocket and have that half finished ice cream bar that I had been slowly whispering a like kind of like a spell power up, and I'm gonna try to like lob it at her wards to like so that they can like be strengthened as I try to like reach for her.
Okay, what move are you trying to pull at this point, my
I'm
friend?
trying to defend her from.
Okay.
It's like the one move that's not influenced by condition.
Yeah, you're in it.
All right. Let's see. That's a roll of 6 plus my savior is a 3. Oh damn, she has influence over me. I don't have influence over her. But that's a 9.
It's a 9. To someone in the team in a position where they want to spend a point to get you up to a 10?
Sounds like both of them are busy. One is
Yeah.
on coffin duty, the other one's on Mary duty.
Yeah, one's got exploded. Yeah.
I wonder though, I might spend I wonder if I might spend a team to assist as I kind of like stabilize the magical situation in the place, and that just makes things a little easier for Bayer.
As you have been so balanced and a good sportsman in your use of team, I am very happy to accept that, and that pushes you into the 10 category, Bayer, for your defend. What would you like to do as you defend them as they sort of grab the ice cream sandwich? They recognize what you are telling them. You're adding a team to the pool, take it influence or clearing condition.
As much as I want influence over Sherry, I have a ton of conditions. I have a hideous amount of conditions. I will get rid of at least afraid, because you see that Sherry's not in immediate danger.
And Mary Andrew is sort of disrupted from this moment of violence as Sai hit them, looks around, the nails coming in, and it says something that you don't quite understand in Creole, and all of a sudden it simply says you have made great enemies and it is gone.
I wanted to grab the sword, but okay.
I will let you make a directly engage a threat to try and do that before it goes.
Okay, I will try to do that. Do that with danger, right? Yeah, I've got a 3. David, I failed. I did not make a roll.
Okay.
Sorry.
As your hand reaches out to try and grab the blade away, the good news is you get to mark potential. The bad news is as it disappears, the sword rakes across your hand and it takes something of you with it. Please mark a condition.
Okay. I think at this point I'm a bit... I'm also already guilty and angry, so I guess now I'm also insecure because this was not, well, what I hoped would happen.
You are looking down at the hand and you can feel yourself. It is cut across whatever was holding you together, Sai, and unless you do something about it soon, you feel you may wisp away from whatever is holding you together.
It's like I'm bleeding out, right?
Fundamentally, like a leaky balloon of
Oh
protoplasm.
no. Damn.
Just slightly, but it is not a pleasant feeling. And I think we see the team looking around at each other at this moment, here at this place, missing Prometheus. And as it's 1:15, I'm going to turn the back page on tonight's issue, where we have a letter from Prometheus, which is what Prometheus does when he has a weekend off. I hope my friends are okay. And we'll go for end of session moves. And I'm going to start with Leandro and Bea tonight, because I almost, for the first time ever, got a mass character, all of their conditions checked. And I think, oh, where's Leandro gone? Hopefully Leandro's back in a moment. Let's not start with Leandro, who's left.
Too many check conditions, I guess.
Oh
wow. Both look pretty yellow.
Cool. Hi, Leandro. I was just about to ask you for your end of session move. I looked down, you were gone, but you're back.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there.
No, it's all right. It's like, oh no. So yeah, as I was going to say, you're the first mass character in all the mass games I've ever run that I've got to just. I've always got people to just that one last condition, and we were almost at it. If you'd failed that roll, we'd have topped out. But Leandro, Bea, how do you feel in your end of session move? Do you go close to the team, go into your own image of yourself, or go away from the team?
Yeah, it has to be grow away a bit. I think no more than in previous sessions is most clear just how different her teammates are to her, how not normal they are. This is like the most obvious it's been, and it's and especially in a session where she's reconnected with this girl she really likes as well. It's almost like, yeah, no, it's not great. So yeah, be growing away from the team, and I think, yeah, the only member of the team who's here who has influence over. Wait, actually, no, everyone has influence over me. Yeah, so yeah, I'm looking at the wrong one. I think I'll get rid of Rick's influence, because this was meant to be his place, his sanctuary. We had a chill time. We drank here, and now I don't think I ever want to come back.
I was really cruel this time to Rick, sorry. Sai, did you grow closer to the team, grow into your image of yourself, or go away from the team?
Weirdly enough, I think I grew closer to the team because they were there when everything else fell apart, and now I'm falling apart, but they're still there. So these are my anchors principally. I mean, I don't have anything else. I didn't grow closer to my own image of myself because I still don't know what that is, and I didn't grow away from them for sure. And I think I will give the influence to Rick because it was his place, and I did him wrong, I guess. So
Rick,
and he was nice about it.
Do you already have influence over Sai?
I do. I think that I'm going to. I think I'm going to put. I'm going to put Sai's danger down and Savior up.
Okay. Rick, if I wasn't clear about the narrative implications of what you just done, this place, your sanctuary, is now absolutely and entirely yours, and the threat of your father is contained for now.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure thing.
End of session move is?
Yeah, so I have my super special one.
Oh, yes, you do.
Which is, if I find it, I can't actually find where it is hidden, but basically, if I believe it's if I don't, where is it hidden?
It is. Where is it?
But yeah, I think it's basically if I don't move towards dealing with my doom.
It's
I
under
mark a
Nemesis.
doom.
Yeah, you have a
Oh, yeah.
nemesis, an epic. My brother threatening body your doom. So everything you have to take it down the time you have left. Who is your
But-
nemesis? We know that. Then there was section asked question: did you make progress in defeating your nemesis? The answer is yes. Mark potential.
Yeah, so I think that's a yes in this session, which gets me an advance, which I will sort out for next time.
Mm-hmm.
And for my team move, I think today this is definitely a grow into my own image, or possibly grow into someone else's image, but definitely growing and images are involved.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm going to move my superior up by 1. It's still only to a -1, and put my mundane down by 1, as I think Rick is becoming increasingly. It is becoming increasingly obvious to Rick that he doesn't get to have a normal life.
Okay, so we will start with you, David, tonight for stars as well, please, if you should have any.
Certainly, well, loads and loads of stars tonight. There was a really, really good session. I enjoyed this a hell of a lot. But but to call out specific things, as other than the whole session being good, was I loved, and this one goes to both to Leandro and Dave, but that bickering between Bayer and Sherry at the beginning was absolutely amazing. That was such a good, like the way you both like characterized them, just and just had that flowing and stopping and starting all the way through was was really, really well done. Thank you very much both for that. That was great. Sabine, I just loved so many different little moments with Sai this evening, but I think in particular I really loved that whole bit in the study, and the fact that that Sai did step up to save Mr. Czin, and then like came to comfort Rick afterwards was such a like really showing that like humanity, ironically obviously if they're transformed, because I think that was such a it was that perfect loss of control moment for Rick, and to actually have it both stopped and then someone come and like talk to him about it afterwards was a really good moment. So thanks for that. And just Dave in general, the whole like ambience of this session was really good. It was very, very good fun.
Awesome, thank you. Sabine, any stars?
Yeah, sure. Stars all around. I kind of loved. I totally loved the session. I loved the flow. I loved the revelations. I loved what we found out. I loved the whole cathedral thing. Specifically, I really like when Rick was training Mr. Czin. He became more menacing because Rick has had this. Yeah, he's a teenager, but he's had this old gentleman vibe somehow. I don't know. But this time it was more like this old gentleman vampire thing, really. I like that a lot. And Bea, I love the ice cream. I'm like that. I love the ice cream sandwiches and that whole flashback that was about how is it kept cold. I love that. And yeah, David, as I said, the whole, and now we're revealing this and this and that, and yes, we're checking out that, and then he's gone, and now I'm bleeding out, which is lovely. I love that. I'm very, very excited. So thank you all.
Cool, lovely. Leandro, any stars?
Yeah, I've got plenty. I really want to shout out the bit at the study when Rick was about to eat up all of Mr. Czin, and Sai's like, I have questions, and we kind of see the two of them like contrasted, how they kind of like their arc is kind of like paralleling each other. One of them is becoming less monsters, the other one's becoming more, but I think that bit is exactly the midpoint. Oh,
You're
roboting.
Yeah, go again. You roboted halfway through that, mate.
oh, yeah. It's been
I'm just gonna
when it says that Charles Dickens doesn't rain. Hold on.
I'm gonna switch your video off a second. Sorry there, Leandro. Just
No
so that
worries.
helps
I
with your
think I
bandwidth.
will switch video. Yeah.
I just switched yours off for you. So
Okay, cool.
yeah, do you want to finish what you're saying?
Yeah, I was talking about Charles Dickens. Yeah, I wanted to say that like that scene was kind of like the catching the two of them at the exact midpoint of both their arcs. So they were like, it was really kind of like clear where they could go, and one of those serendipitous moments, but it worked really well because otherwise, Mr. Czin could have just been eaten. But I love that Sai stopped it, not because we probably shouldn't do that, because I have questions for this guy. I have my own bullshit to deal with. I love that, and so it was really fascinating to see that. And Dave, the construction of this place, from the creepily goofy stuff like Elvis playing, all the rock and roll zombies, not being a fan of David Bowie, and but segueing that into like the proper like creepy stuff, and also the emotional stuff, and getting to banter with you is always a lot of fun. I think it does feel like proper 90s Vertigo nonsense, that really that delicate balance between when it gets really tough and horrific to when it gets really silly, but in a macabre sort of way, and then when it gets to like proper emotional stuff, I think whatever we're doing, we're nailing it for sure, and everyone's been really great.
I'm hoping that, say, this is still a mass game, right, and not Monster Hearts or Urban Shadows, right? So there's got to be moments of levity, even if the stakes are high. And I thank you again for wonderful role play with, against, through each other as well. I've enjoyed and hopefully trying to keep the suspense and the pace tonight. I'm not a horror GM; it is my least favorite genre, but it's just trying to keep the suspenseful and weird enough for everyone. So hopefully we manage to do that. Let's go through a row of wishes. We're going to reverse order. And Leandro, do you have any wishes for next time?
Yeah, your point about this being a mass game is solid. I think definitely it's next week. I kind of feel we're going to a bit of team rebuilding. Hopefully we'll have our solid legacy to anchor us all together again. It was like a nice contrast from last week, where we're all like, "No, you're the best. No, you're the best." And this week, everyone had picked like wildly different like options from the end of session moves. So I do want to like next week like get back to like bring them all together a bit more.
You were together most of the session, but I was harshing you. But you've got to bring the harsh a little bit in superhero comic as well. Sabine, any wishes?
I wish that I would not bleed out, please, but I love being bleeding out, maybe not being bled out.
You want to deal with that, right?
Yeah, I want to deal with that, exactly.
So deal with the spirit wound. Seems legit.
Yeah. I have an idea what I'm gonna do about it. So also I would like to have a bit of a quieter scene with the other PCs, maybe. Like we're probably not at a point where we will get cozy family reunion scenes, but something that is maybe there is still some tension, but not like, now we have to rush off and beat that guy and hit that guy. I mean, I love hitting guy. I mean, you know what I mean. Yes.
Yes, character scenes and pacing, giving you a chance to do some of the softer role play. Now we've gone through our
and
high
I
pace
think
game.
we need to recover some conditions here.
I disagree with you completely. The more conditions I can inflict on you, all the better. David, any wishes?
Honestly, not really, but in a very good way. I felt like I got a lot out of the session, and next session I'm kind of more looking to see what happens and go with the flow. Though, I think just to echo, I think it'll be nice to have some kind of some character scenes and stuff. That would be cool. But no, like I said, no specific things, but like I said, in a good way, not in a whatever way.
I'm going to put a note next to you to remind myself that I want to see what the Sisters of the Vampire Courts think about what you've just done and what the ramifications of it is. I think that payoff deserves seeing. Again, hopefully we'll have Andrea back with us next week. Thank you so much for your time and your presence and your awesome role play this evening. And I look forward to seeing you same time next week for Sabine. Tomorrow with the other two of you with the coolest transform being played in masks on the Gauntlet at the moment.
Well, I didn't catch that. I'm sorry.
I said I'm playing a transformed in ferrets.
Cool.
Game. So I was getting a rivalry between us of who's the coolest transformed.
Oh, okay. No, the coolest transformed I've ever played was Serenade of Thorns, and you will not find. And I will argue, and I will fight you. I will fight you about that.
Yeah, the thing is, Serenade of Thorns is like the ultimate fighting weapon, but David's transform can transform into a car.
What is the use of that?
Carry the teeth around and play tunes.
Which has been happening a lot.
Oh well. There are buses that go wherever you need to.
Yeah, as I say, thank you so much. It's the right level of tension, action, but levity to keep it playing masks. So I look forward to. Is it a penultimate episode next week, or have we got 3 to go? I can't remember. I'll figure it out. We'll do it next time, and I'll